Hello, and welcome back to Suck My Fanfic. I must apologize for our bad keeping to a schedule, but we're two girl bosses, and we make our own schedules. So, I hope you like that one, communist. I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. But
it's also like summer, and we're taking like a summer break in addition to our spring and fall break that we took around our winter break.
And in addition to our COVID break that we're also currently taking. Mm-hmm. So, sweet, that's cool. Go us, I guess.
Yeah, we deserve it.
But we're here. So, I guess you could appreciate that. Right?
We're here, you're here, really trying to push the back catalog. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, really at this point, that's the only thing that's saving us is a back catalog.
We might have a clip episode coming up soon.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
A clip episode.
That'd be nice. Mm-hmm. You know, when we started, like, one of the first things, everyone's like, you have to have a back catalog or else I'm not listening. And I was like, fuck you. Like, you still listen. And then I realized, like, that's how people really are when they start podcasts. Like,
what's also like when you start, like, a TV show? A lot of people are like, if there's not, like, 100 episodes, I'm not going to get too invested.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I just started watching The Witcher, and I'm like, there's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, now I'm going to have to wait till 2021.
I'm going to wait till season 2 comes out to even begin.
Yeah. Same thing with Altered Carbon on Netflix. There were 10 in the original, and now there's 8 for the second season. So it's like, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's 18 episodes. Like, just go ahead.
Yeah, I might just start watching them.
Yeah. Altered Carbon is amazing, though.
Didn't Doom Patrol do their new season?
Doom Patrol has a new season out. I have not gotten to start it yet.
Now it's time for me to just blow through all that.
You should, because I think there's only 2 left in the season. Like, 2 more that they have to release, and then they're done.
I'll just right through that.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Gotta have a back catalog. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we built our back catalog.
We have a back catalog.
Now we're just, like, riding the wave.
Yes,
of the back catalog. The wave.
Do you know the character Dorothy in Doom Patrol?
No.
She's in the trades you lent me.
Dorothy.
She's a little girl with the face.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's the boss's daughter, right?
Yeah. The chief.
The chief, yeah.
Yeah. Boss's Daughter sounds like an early 2000s Ashton Kutcher movie. It might actually be
The Boss's Daughter.
Okay. Anyways.
Ashton
Kutcher.
Ashton, dude, where's my career?
Where's my
Ashton Kutcher?
He's doing charity shit. He's letting Mila be the he's like the one who makes the money.
He's like doing some
taking
legit
care of kids. Yeah.
Legit charity.
I think it's a human trafficking charity.
Yeah, that's his big deal.
That's where his career is.
That's the world
people's lives.
That's the world we live in when Ashton Kutcher is going to solve human trafficking.
Well, Kanye 2020? Yeezus 2020? Anyways, she, the girl that played Dorothy, because she's going to be in the second... she's in the second season. She actually has some sort of... I don't want to say physical deformity, because that sounds really rude. Health issue?
Okay. They didn't just put prosthetics on an
No, she actually... And people have been, like, shitting on her. And she, like, Doom Patrol has given her their Twitter.
Doom Patrol's woke.
Okay, so, I mean, I think everyone at this point understands, like, I'm not going to watch something if they, like, I'm not going to sit there and be, like, looking for, like, we are woke, watch this. Like, I don't really care about specific
You're not even
like
looking
that.
for it. You have people who filter it for you.
Basically,
you only consume woke-ture.
Just woke-ture. But after Doom Patrol Season 1 came out, I read this article that was, like, Doom Patrol is the most pro-disability show in the world. And I was like, what in the absolute fuck are you talking about? Have I talked about that before?
You sent me that article.
Yeah, but it was just about how, like, every one of the characters has a physical or mental disability or a mental disorder. Mm-hmm. And it's about how depicting them honestly and depicting their struggles in a way that is, like, respectful to it. And I'm like, I didn't even know that this whole time. Like, I could have been fucking a grapefruit this whole time. You know? You ever seen that video?
No.
Well, now I'm going to show you the video.
That's all right. We'll watch it later.
I might just clip the audio in.
Okay.
Because it has... I want to show it to you.
All right, listener, we're going to transport you to the video now. Insert grapefruit fucking video here.
Now, this is my bonus technique, the grapefruit. Normally, you can only get this technique in one of my classes, but I wanted to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruited. When you grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if you are giving him head and fucking him at the same time. No better feeling would he ever get than being grapefruited. So what you need to do is you need to, of course, have a grapefruit. You want to make sure you get the ruby red. It's sweeter, it's easier. If you are allergic to grapefruit or can't use a grapefruit for your medication, you can always use a large navel orange. Now, what you want to do is make sure the grapefruit is room temperature. All you have to do is put it in warm water. Do not microwave it. Do not boil it. Then, once it gets to that temperature, all you need to do is roll it. The reason why you want to roll it is because you want to juice it up a little bit. The juicier, the better. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find the navel. There's 2 navels to the grapefruit. Once you do that, you're going to place it on the plate, and the navel's on the outside. You want to take a knife, and you actually want to cut one side of that navel off. Now, all this that you're doing, he will not see any of this preparation because I'm going to tell you that a little bit later. It's a trick. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take it to the other side and do the same thing. So you should have a grapefruit that has 2 sides missing just like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put a hole in the middle of the grapefruit approximately the size of your man's penis. Do not make it too big. Do not make it too tight. Just approximate. Then what you want to do is you're going to take the knife midway down and make sure it goes all the way through. All you want to do is make a nice hole in the middle of the grapefruit. Now, if you take it and make it too big, that's okay because you can always squeeze your hands like the muscles of your vagina. And if you make it too tight, all you have to do is take your finger and push the flesh back. It's just grapefruit. Now, when you grapefruit your man, he has to be blindfolded. There's no ands, ifs, buts about it. Why? If you came to the bedroom with a grapefruit, what is your man going to say? What are you going to do with that? Is it going to burn and all that other thing? So you don't want any of that. So this is what you do. Say, baby, you know what? Tonight, I want to do something a little freakier. I want to suck your dick blindfolded. Your man will blindfold himself if he knows he's going to get some head. So now, your man is in the bed. You have the grapefruit already prepared under the bed. He smells the citrus in the air. He thinks you have on some new Victoria's Secrets or something. He has no idea. And what you're going to do is be a woman of your word. Now, you have to get his penis erect. So what you're going to do is just suck his dick, just like you said you were going to do. Once he's nice and erect, what you're going to do is replace the grapefruit from your mouth. You're going to twist up and down on his shaft and suck the head at the same time. Now, ladies, remember, grapefruit is also a fat burner, so you're actually losing weight while you're sucking his dick. Now, once you're doing this technique, it feels amazing to him, but he still has no idea what you're doing. So what you want to tell your man to do is this. Take the blindfold off. He's going to be looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? But he'll never say stop. All he's going to be thinking is, I could have been fucking a grapefruit all these years. And that's the grapefruit technique.
Okay, yeah, I have seen that. I just remember the disturbing noises.
It sounds like Donald Duck getting raped in hell.
I mean, like, what? Whoa, first of all. Second of all, I just remember, I don't remember the dialogue. I didn't read the transcripts from that. Someone sent me the, look at this. I was like, oh, God, yeah.
She ends it with, your man's going to be thinking, man, I could have been fucking a grapefruit this whole time.
Oh, man, very Call Me By Your Name.
That was a reference. Great. I don't know that reference. I don't think I want to know.
That's a peach.
I'm good. So opening topic.
We got our back catalog. Opening topic.
Point is, we got our back catalog, and we're not good at staying on point. Teens are writing graphic sex slave fan fiction stories about their favorite TikTokers.
Oh, no.
I want to start off by saying...
I don't know any famous TikTokers except for that Charlie girl.
Charlie D'Amelio. Well, she's like number one. She's got a sister, Dixie.
I've heard of her.
And they've got a dad who also has a TikTok. And his most popular one, at least last I checked, was him going, hey, just so you know, I'm Charlie and Dixie's dad. You're welcome, boys.
Ew.
That's a gross video.
That's like worst dad material.
Yeah,
right there.
fuck you, bro. What kind of...
What's his name?
Sick shit. I don't know. Charlie D'Amelio's dad. Mr. D'Amelio?
Mr. D'Amelio, sir, I'm here to pick up Charlie for homecoming.
Well, no, so Mark D'Amelio. The weird thing, too, is like...
Where are they from?
I'm assuming Italy. I know. Let me see.
It sounds. My Jersey senses are tingling.
Your Jersey senses
that's
are
why
tingling.
I'm saying
Connecticut.
Okay,
that sounds about.
Sounds
right.
like that's someone who was in Jersey and then got rich.
Yeah, that's probably it. But what's weird is, so you know, she's 16. Charlie is.
Yeah,
the biggest TikTok star in the world.
Yes, yeah.
Who's highly sexualized by the app.
And by herself.
Yeah, she'd also sexualize herself.
To be fair.
Which I don't whatever, get into whether it's like empowerment for her part or whatever. But it's gross that people are kind of like perpetuating that.
Yeah.
She moved into the Hype House.
Okay, I know about this.
Dating a guy named Lil Huddy.
I've heard the name.
He's legal.
Is he like a musician?
No.
He sounds like
I think he's a wannabe musician.
He sounds like he's from like the Lil coaching tree, the Lil Waynes, the Lil Yachty's, all those folks.
Well, see, the weird is it's all one word. Lil Huddy. Lil Huddy.
Lil Huddy.
Lil Huddy.
Lil Huddy.
Lil Huddy.
Lil Huddy.
Lil Huddy. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Social media personality.
Cool.
He's also one of the co-founders of the Hype House. Good friend. He's legal. Whatever. I mean, I think they started dating beforehand.
Yeah, okay.
It's California rules. Very French there.
I'm aware that they're, the Dangerous Cousins or whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
From Arrested Development. I understand that they are together and understand that they're both very powerful people.
Yes.
Yes.
Very powerful people at 18 and 16.
Very powerful talkers.
Very powerful
Also,
talkers.
you're going to be talking to me about fanfics about TikTok. TikToks.
I like that.
Or no, TikToks.
TikFox?
TikToks.
TikTok.
TikTok.
There's a really gross YouTube channel that is like the Hollywood Reporter sort of, but they just like follow TikTokers around and like, hey little honey, are you still with Charlie? And the dude's like in his 50s, like filming them, like, yeah, you guys kiss, show us you're together still, and it's just like really weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just applying the age old TMZ method to the new generation. So it's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the guy's 50. He's been doing it since like Brangelina, so it's same deal.
Exactly. I had to take a class in undergrad called History of the Western Race and Representation in Hollywood. History by Hollywood, Race and Representation in the Western. That's what it was.
In like the Western, the American Western.
It was American Western Film Studies History class.
Gotcha.
That tells you what I got myself into. I only took it because it was online, which fucking awful idea on my part.
Right. Everything was solved when Get Out came out, though, right?
Absolutely.
Everything was
Get
fixed.
Out came out, and it was like, oh, movies are cool now. We're good.
We're fixed.
That fixes all of it. And it was really funny because the whole thing was about, like, feminism and empowering Native voices because they were very easily erased in all of these Western movies.
Last of the Mohicans.
But it was really weird because in the textbook, it talked about like the history of Hollywood and like how the studios were like went from New York to Jacksonville to Hollywood.
To Jacksonville.
Jacksonville at one point was considered Black Hollywood, and that's while it was after it was White Hollywood. Jacksonville was going to be the place that took New York's spot as all the places to film movies, but it didn't have mountains because it's very flat, so they had to go out west.
Interesting.
Because they wanted to film all these different types of movies, but you really only get so many settings in a place like...
It's diverse, but there's no elevation. Because you can get like beach, swamp, forest, but there's just no elevation.
There's no elevation, so you don't get those cool mountain shots.
And
especially...
everyone's addicted to Westerns.
At the time, Westerns were super popular, so you had to be out west.
Sure. And that's where Reagan was, and he was going to become president, so you had to give him a platform.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's all conspiracy.
But it's really funny because, they're sitting there trying to like do all these things to correct all these issues. And then the textbook's like super anti-Semitic about how like Jews started Hollywood and started the concept of celebrity and like award shows just to make more money. And I was like, I don't know if I'm vibing with this though. I was like, we're here to correct like a lot of like misinterpretations, but I don't think I'm vibing right now.
Right.
This is vaguely anti-Semitic. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's okay. So TikTok, the popular video streaming app with an audience of over 500 million.
TikTok, if you're listening to this, you don't know, TikTok is like Vine. And if you don't know what Vine is...
it's like Musical.ly.
Yeah.
Which
like
came
Musical.ly.
after Vine.
Yeah.
Well, TikTok's a little more collaborative than Vine.
Is it?
No, it really is.
Oh, with the Hype House where they all
no,
shoot
because
each other
the whole point of the TikToks and Musical.ly was to...
have two people lip syncing or singing and it comes together.
Be collaborative.
But how many of the big TikToks now have like that dual screen?
None.
It's like they all get together now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's now Vine.
Yeah, it's basically just Vine now. There are a few standout stars that have quickly risen to the ever-coveted status of TikTok fame. However, it appears that with fame, fan fiction inevitably follows. This is from Insider.com.
Yeah, we agree with that.
Fan fiction is exactly as the name describes. Okay, we don't need to explain this, but
I want to hear is it a funny description or is it like a purely like copy and paste?
Fiction written by fans. That's all they say. The whole paragraph's a waste. There are nearly 10,000 stories on the popular fanfiction website Wattpad that showcases TikTokers as their subject matter.
Yeah, Wattpad would be it's like Wattpad is the TikTok of fanfiction. It's like little bursts.
Interesting enough, I was walking through Barnes & Noble the other day. Wattpad has their own publishing imprint now.
Really?
Physical books.
So now they're using those like stories that get 6 billion views.
Yes, and they're publishing them.
And they're making money off
Instead
of it.
of
So they're making money. Are they giving any money to the people who put on their platform?
No, not unless they publish your book.
There you go, no. So they're just using people's stories. They're using the fact that there's on their platform to make money.
Yeah. But think about this. They missed out on 50 Shades. They could have made billions.
But they didn't have 50 Shades. I thought that was...
50 Shades was Wattpad. And then she took it off.
Yeah, she took it off.
Yeah, or it was fanfiction.net. But after. They could have had after.
Yes.
They could have had after and made all that money, and they didn't.
So now they're publishing.
So now they're like, well, fuck us. We could have been fucking in Grapefruit this whole time.
Is there a disclaimer that says like what is on here is ours?
No. They're paying the author.
Oh, they are.
They're not paying. So it's like you don't get money just.
How are you tracking down?
Wattpad.
How are you tracking down Kitty Lick Lick 69?
Well, you sent the email because you have to register with an email, and you're like, "Hey, Kitty Lick Lick, you got 6 billion views. You want to fuck a grapefruit or what?"
Right.
You know. So TikTok fanfiction can include graphic content. So when I tell you this TikTok, this weird, what do you picture? What do you picture?
Oh, it's just like your run-of-the-mill, gross, like, sex thing.
No, what's the dynamic? Who do you think's doing what? That's I'm only asking because I was surprised.
Who do I think's doing what?
Yeah.
Like, between, like, Lil Huddy and Char, like that?
No. What do you think the people who are writing this are writing about? What are the situations they're writing about?
I don't know. I'm going to show they're like high school AUs. So where all the TikTokers go to the same high school?
I read Sex Slave, and I was thinking that it was young adults, because I don't want to say children, young adults, writing these stories, like taking a little Huddy and like putting a rope around his neck and taking them back to their houses.
Oh, you're talking about like the fans doing things to their talkers. Oh, it's probably the talkers doing things to the fans.
The common tropes are that their parents are taking them and selling them into sex slavery to the TikTokers.
Wait,
that's what these girls are writing.
The author's parents are selling
them. That's what's going on.
Okay, Mr. Anthropologist, I want you to break down what is happening in the zeitgeist to make that. You know, if you're Ramses II of Watchmen, because I just read it, and you're like, what is the culture that's like making this the most dominant fantasy?
So they need a psychiatrist, not an anthropologist. That's the first one. No, so I think that speaks to a lot of celebrity culture that's been present since Elvis Presley, especially with younger females.
Sure.
If you really want to get anthropological about it.
I'm talking specifically why they're in servitude and being sold by their parents.
So, call it biology, call it society.
Yeah.
It's a nature-nurture question, which we don't need to get into right now because that's like a whole podcast in itself.
Right.
Answers mixed. That's okay. There is a phenomenon, a trope, a thing that's out there about how women, particularly, especially younger women, are more attracted to perceived power than possibly looks or possibly money. But if you're thinking money is power, then yeah, money and power.
Okay.
So the issue would be, we're living in a society, right? We live in a society.
First and foremost, Joker should have won Best Picture because we live in a society.
We do live in a society. I don't know if you're joking about that. I thought Joker was a fantastic movie.
I am jokering about that. I don't think it should have won.
Yeah. He was really good, though. I'm glad he won the award.
It was a great fine film.
It was a great film. Masterpiece, if I must say so myself.
Sure.
We live in a society where we are...
Murray.
If you think about it, you know, people always talk about like content, and that is sort of like...
Content is king.
Content is sort of like the production, the tangible... It's not even tangible, but it's like this intangible like thing that people are producing.
It's like all trades and services go to put the lights and everything together, and the cameras are rolling, and then the little in the middle is content.
So, especially with the internet, especially with smartphones, the currency is no longer...
Especially with Quibi.
The currency is no longer money, but it's attention and time. Because you're getting money from people's attention and time.
Yeah, the more eyes you have, the more impressions you have,
exactly.
the more time spent on something.
So,
fair.
If that is the currency of the day, and if that is what we are valuing as a society, particularly the younger generation that is growing up with these things,
right,
then I personally, in my non-professional opinion, feel like these younger women are perceiving that these men, these TikTok e-boys, are powerful in their own right because they have a following, because they have a platform, because they have 1 billion views.
Sure, they have attention. They also have money.
They also have money. And therefore, they would be willing to be sold into sex slavery because these boys are so desirable. That is coming from a...
Well, why not just be in a relationship?
Mid-20s
What is it about?
Male who doesn't have a TikTok.
What is it about the slavery aspect that's so... It's so pervasive?
I have no idea.
That's what I was asking. So, okay, we don't have any... Let's read the article. Let's read the article. Then.
No. A popular theme of these stories includes young girls being sold to TikTok boys by their parents into sex slavery. The writing is brief, lacks grammatical clarity or formatting, and closely resembles a stream of instant messages. Though the stories are often short, they depict scenes which are graphic in nature. Violence, aggression, rape, and being tricked into unprotected sex are amongst the most concerning. Fanfiction is nothing new. Why the fuck are you writing about this? Okay, we are the fanfic experts. I don't need you to be telling me this, insider.
Yeah, they're just filming. They're trying to get their word quota. Yeah. So the basic story is
story is this. Yeah, they do have a word quota, and I'm giving them the impression. So here's an example they give. He goes into his drawer in his closet and grabs cuffs and ropes. Jay, you've been naughty, and you need to be taught a lesson. Literally, none of that makes sense grammatically or spelling-wise. It's okay. B, Jaden, please stop. I really don't want to do this, RN. Jay, I gave you a chance to fuck someone else, and you didn't, so there's no more chances. So the whole article really does start going into like, why are they doing this, and is this good? Why are they talking?
Well, I don't care much about judging whether it's good or not. I'm more interested as to why.
So according to the psychologists that they talk about, they think that because Americans are prudent about sexual culture, which we do generally tend to be. One of the classes I taught, which had to do with sexuality, very interestingly, one joke that I made, which is true, is remember, kids, all the people that came here from Europe were the crazy religious ones.
Right.
So we do have a society founded on, being prude.
Sure.
Being little zealots religiously. So the idea is that because we're prudish about sexual culture and we get very little guidance, that is these girls exploring what's going on as they're aging with lack of guidance. I think I don't really vibe with that, but Dr. Carter says so.
It's interesting where it's like we have a society where anything about sex is so subversive that it doesn't take it gets lumped in with the same category as other subversive activities.
Yes.
It's like if you're going to talk about plain old missionary, you might as well be talking about domination.
Yeah, you might as well be talking about anal penetration.
Anal penetration and just normal sex are like as likely to appear in Ted Cruz's vocabulary, as each other. You know what I'm saying? Like if one's going to happen, then the lid is off the jar.
Yeah,
Pandora's box is open.
So I was going to read one of these, but the thing is, I don't really know any of the TikTok people.
Neither do I.
I don't really get it. So I feel like if you're interested, go on a Wattpad, find one you vibe with. I don't know any of the boys.
And then send it to us.
Send it to us. We'll read it.
Yeah.
I mean, explain it to us.
And they're all like these what are those called again? The fix where it's like messages? Like
I don't remember what those are called, but there is a trope for that.
Yeah, and if it's one of those, then we'll whack it out. We'll figure out the voices.
Yeah, I'll do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
We'll do a radio play.
Just if you like it, go ahead. But I just thought this was an interesting thing to talk about. I also think it's interesting to mention that TikTok e-boys have a particular thing called eye rolling. Have you seen what I'm talking about?
No, do it for me.
So what they do...
Do it for me.
You want me to do it for you right now and then I'll explain it?
Yes. Oh, God. Jeez. All right, explain that. I would love to hear this. I'd love to hear what the heck what I just saw.
So the idea behind it is that they put their head up to their hand up to their temple. And when you have your hand on a table and you're like
drumming
it with your fingers, you do that with on the side of your head, and while you do that, you roll your eyes up into the back of your head, and then you shake your head, and it's just this really weird this
We're gonna put a GIF of you doing it on Twitter.
Oh fuck yes, I would do that for sure. And so that is popular, and I just wanted I've literally seen videos of girls, girls who are TikTok age who are interested in that stuff, going to these fan meetups for these TikTok boys. I didn't even know that was a thing. And literally, the boy will jump up on a table and he'll be like, shh, 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 and he'll quiet all the girls. And then he'll look around and he'll just do the eye roll thing. And they will go fucking nanners. There are jokes to be made, but they're underage and I feel uncomfortable. So none of the jokes are going to be made. Ryan drawing of me doing it. That's a good drawing of it, especially with how quick it was. So there's the TikTok e-boy eye roll, and I just wanted to compare that to the girl version, the e-girl version.
There's an e-girl version.
The ahigao.
Do it.
It's a
I know. I've
hentai
seen
orgasm
I've
phase.
seen what you're talking
Belle
about.
Delphine's famous for it.
Okay.
So I wanted to make that comparison. That now we have these highly sexualized e-girls with the ahigo.
Honestly, that
ahigao.
eye roll thing that was very anime. What you're doing.
I know. Unfortunately, here I'll show you.
My art, the podcast version of that, is we get really mad and we get that thing on our head.
Yeah. If you ever want to, just users or people listening, if you ever just want to cringe to the maximum amount, just pull up a TikTok e-boy eye roll compilation. Unless you're a female and you're about 16, in which case you're already watching those.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, see, don't they hurt your soul?
Yeah, it does.
And the thing is, I'm not even that kind of guy that's like, yo, man up, be masculine. But part of me is like,
have some self-respect.
Have some self-respect. That's a good way to phrase it? Because it's just
this is something I would see again. This is something I would see K-pop band doing.
Yes.
God, what's their name? I actually like their music.
BTS?
BTS. Yeah, that's like a BTS. It feels like
that's a BTS thing. Yeah. So there's an eye roll. I just wanted to bring it up because it bothers me. And the Higo thing's
anime
hentai.
That is that's sexual, and that's
Was it ego?
Yeah.
Well, the girls treat the eye roll as sexual.
As sexual as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. I just want to bring it up. It bothers me. This is our platform. This is where we can talk about this stuff.
It bothers us. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it bothers us just because we don't understand it, and we're the old heads now.
Look, I'm an old head, and I've accepted that. I'm more than okay with it. I'm more than fine to just be reserved to sitting in my apartment and reading and not making contact with anybody outside of doing this podcast with you. Like, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I've been called an old head by my students, and I'm not that much older than them at all. I had one literally go, "Oh, well, we have this thing on TikTok that you probably don't know about because you're a little too old for it." And I'm like, "How the fuck old do you think I am?"
Quite old in internet age.
Apparently, yeah.
Very
and
old.
also, speaking of e-boys, I found a picture of me from when I was like 9.
You were an e-boy.
Okay.
Oh gosh, here we go.
The e-boy thing is they have a middle part. It's
Okay.
very popular.
It's
Middle
like Dwight
part,
Schrute. I could probably do that.
You could, dude, you could get a middle part.
Yeah, let's
you
fire
look
up
like a
TikTok.
fucking e-boy. Fuck. So they have the middle part, and then they wear all the designer shit, earrings. I didn't have an earring, but my mom always wanted to make me look fresh as hell when I was a kid.
Nice.
Within reason because we didn't have any money,
Right,
so I was
right.
wearing shit from Baby Gap.
Sure.
But I had the
looked
middle
tight,
part.
though, yeah.
I had Gap on.
You had a middle part? How did that work?
Oh, it looked weird.
How's that possible?
Okay, so now when my hair grows out, it grows out in a Jufro. It's very curly. It's just out. It doesn't grow down.
Yeah.
When I was at that age, my hair was almost like bleach blonde, like super light, and it would grow out, but it would grow out wavy. So I would have a middle part, but I would be wavy and blonde, and I looked literally me at 9 looked exactly like these 18-year-old e-boys.
You know what? I just figured it out. When you told me middle part, I was like, that sounds... And then I was like, I did my middle part, and I was like, I know exactly what happens when I do my middle part. It's such a 90s look.
Yeah, it's a 90s look.
You look like Sean from Boy Meets World.
You look like Sean from Boy Meets World.
And we're our 80s of today is now the
it's
90s. So people are looking back and oh, that's the hot thing is to look like
That's
Sean
exactly
from
what it
Boy
is.
Meets World. So you were looking...
It's funny, too.
You looked way out of style in the 2000s,
I did,
but
yeah.
now you look retro.
So the thing is, what's really crazy too is how we're only 90s kids remember?
Yeah.
None of these kids on TikTok were born until the 2000s.
Well, it's like all the people 10 years ago who were obsessed with the 80s culture.
Yep.
None of them were born in the 80s.
Nope.
And the 60s, that's all long gone. That sucks.
I mean, I'd rather do. I'm thinking 1930s,
Yeah.
1920s,
Yeah.
Roaring 20s. Can we bring that back?
We did Roaring 20s two years before and after Great Gatsby came out. That was 20.
That was fun though.
It's done.
We
now.
had a party at Gatsby prom.
It's done now.
That was actually pretty lit.
It's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right, we'll go to the 30s.
We're in the 90s now.
We're in the 90s now.
We're in the that's what the
a big
middle
jump.
part.
Yeah,
is.
that's true. No, it is. It's a 90s thing. It's a middle part. It's
Yep.
a 90s thing.
Puka shell necklaces. I bet they're coming back.
Puka shell necklaces are coming back.
Thin gold chains. I'm sure. You showed me one. But that's all that stuff. So it's that.
Well, think about the funny joke of because I don't know why boys.
Also, I'm pretty sure everyone already knows this. We just had this I just had this realization now.
Oh, about the 90s thing?
Yeah, and the VSCO girls, they're all wearing
VSCO, yeah.
scrunchies and
Yeah.
stuff. That's all. I knew that was 90s, but now I'm seeing it on TikTok.
No, you're vocalizing it. You're putting it into word form.
I think
in ways that I've been thinking about it.
I think people have already figured that
They
out.
might have, but we're just late to the party.
We're old heads.
We're
late. We're late to the Gatsby themed party that we threw when everyone already got rid of their
yeah.
flapper dresses.
That's
So
okay.
I'm thrifting that.
Yeah, but I don't like it. But I don't know. Oh, what I was
Why
saying.
don't you buy a house and then go stand on your front lawn and shake your fist at the world? How does that sound?
I can't buy a house. I'm a millennial. We're never going to own houses.
That's true. Why don't you go put your avocado toast out somewhere on the sidewalk?
Why don't you go stand on the front of your parents' lawn and shake your hand?
Come out from the basement.
Yeah.
Well, an avocado toast
Yeah.
and shake it.
Yeah. But you know how there's that meme of the girls who wear Nirvana band shirts and they've never listened to Nirvana?
Yeah.
Now they are because it's the 90s. They're listening to the music.
They're still not.
They're
Still
fun. No,
no
they're
one's listening to Nirvana.
They're still not. And the boys are just getting so possessive. Name 3 songs in Nirvana. I bet you can.
It's a terrible look.
Yeah, it's a bad look, boys. It's a bad look, boys. So just want to talk about that. TikTok fan fiction is a thing. It's sex slavery, and there are a lot of eye rolls involved.
And they're fic talks, and we came up with that.
We
came
are
up with that
trademarking
first.
that, so thank you. So I want to talk to you today about a trope that I don't think we've touched on just yet.
All right.
It's very interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's the soulmate trope. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Where the two characters are Jim and Pam, soulmates, and
So that's what I thought it was. That is not what it is. There are multiple manifestations of this trope.
All right.
I have a few examples. You're going to pick the one for me to read based on the soulmate trope example itself.
do we have an overall
Yes.
template for the soul?
Red string of fate, meaning that two characters, particularly ones who are normally in a relationship, get strung together by this red string of fate, and something occurs at a specific point in time that lets you know that you have met your soulmate. For example, you were
senpai
born.
notices.
Senpai notices.
Oh, like in Twilight, you might be like that impression upon something.
Let's hope not.
Okay.
You're born and you have a phrase tattooed on your arm. Or you turn 12, you have a phrase tattooed on your arm. Your soulmate is whoever. The first words they say to you are those words.
It's like it's on your skin
It's
when you're
on
born,
your skin.
or like your parents tat you up.
It depends on whoever. Your parents don't tat you up. It'll just appear. It depends on how it's written, though. Sometimes it develops when you're 13, 18, 30, or you're born with it.
Okay,
that's one.
Maybe you're born with it.
Maybe you're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Would it be like would it ever be an instance where it's like a finish the phrase? Like I'm born, I'm like, make America. And then someone's got, great again.
Oh, fuck.
And then we just intertwine.
Yeah. I don't think so on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. But another example is you see in grays until you meet your soulmate, and you see in colors.
So I'm going to call that the giver.
That's the giver. Another one is you can feel everything that your soulmate feels until you meet them.
The voodoo doll.
The voodoo doll. That's good. I like these names.
Free word association.
Yeah, yeah. Another one is you are all given watches at birth. And the moment you meet your soulmate, your watch starts ticking.
That's the In Time. You ever seen that movie with Justin Timberlake?
No.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
They like pay for coffee with like minutes.
Yeah, their life.
Yeah, they're like, okay.
Dude, we should watch that again. Mind's blown.
Again? I haven't watched it the first time.
You know, when us as a society watch
us
that movie.
as a society. So those are some examples. So the whole purpose behind this trope.
My watch just started ticking, by the way.
Who'd you just meet?
Maybe I'm seeing you for the first time, buddy.
Wow, fuck.
Okay, keep going.
Mine is too. But it's an Android watch. So
we're all given watches. Who? By who? So this would be like Steven Universe, but like in the universe where everybody gets watches.
Gets a watch. Yeah.
Or like Cat Dog, but Cat Dog gets a watch when it's born.
Like the weird thing is people still like get married and have kids even though their watches aren't ticking.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
That's life.
Yeah. Interesting. That's a really good metaphor. Fuck. So
that's crazy. The Dexter's Lab where everybody has watches that they're given at birth.
Dexter's mom is thick though. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, is your watch taking?
Now it is. That sounds like, in South Park, they made a South Park reference, in the mystery of who made Dookie in the urinal, there's the Hardly Boys, and they're like, I just got a raging clue. That's like, now it's like, my watch ticking. I don't know. So those are some examples. So that the whole trope,
TikTok, okay.
The whole South Park, or not South, the whole soulmate trope.
Yes.
Trope is you're tied together by something. You meet, and then that thing changes.
And are you aware that I'm waiting? When will my watch start to tick? Like Cinderella at the window? You know the significance of your watch.
So the thing is, some people get really lucky when it's like really specific, where it's like, I'll have,
what she's having.
Yeah, I'll have what she's having. And like, that's what's tattooed on you, and you're like, that's a weird thing to have tattooed, but I'm looking for the person that says that around me, please. Can you just say it, please?
Anyone?
I'm very perceptive when I'm like out and about in public. Like, what if you're just walking by and you like read someone's tattoo?
I was about
you're like, fuck,
because you could just say it.
Yeah,
you could just say it.
So
that's a very dangerous thing. I would have it covered up.
Already, we've given 2 minutes of thought into this. We're picking it apart.
I would have it covered up. You can't fake a watch ticking.
No,
you can't fake that.
No,
that's science.
But the fucking.
Yeah, what if it's just hello there?
Yeah, hello there.
Everybody you meet, you could be like, well, I wonder if this
What if it was like, what's up, bitch? Like, pop that pussy, bitch. Like,
that's something that I wouldn't normally hear someone say immediately.
That's true. So, I don't know.
So I get to pick from one of these tropes.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the one I'm going to read to you. But I wanted to lay down the foundation of the soulmate trope. It's a real thing. Sometimes they deal with what, if the person dies. Sometimes, if the phrasing's weird or just like hello, the whole point of the story is that person trying to figure out who their soulmate is, and they're like, well, let me see what your arm says, so I know if I said the right thing. So the options I'm giving you are the giver. You see color for the first time.
Okay.
You feel the person's emotion until you meet.
Voodoo doll.
And sometimes the person dies before you meet them.
And what happens to you?
You are like always in pain because that person died.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Is this a TikTok thing? I mean, a TikTok thing. Is this a
general fanfic thing? You can find
like
hundreds of thousands of
this is kind of beautiful
fanfics like this.
I wonder where did it start, do you think?
I have literally no idea.
Yeah, it's very hard to trace these things
back. It really is.
Star Trek, that's where it started.
The watch?
Yep.
The watch one is very interesting.
Uh-huh.
I already said the color. The one on your arm?
The arm words?
Yeah, and then there's one where the tattoo of what your first love says shows up when you turn 30. which is it's an ARM one, but it's an age-restricted ARM one. So I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. I'm kind of interested in the watch one.
I was really hoping you'd say the watch
Ticking
one.
and talking is kind of the theme of this episode, so let's do the watch one.
We're going to do the watch one.
We're doing watch. We're the Watchmen.
We're doing the
watch one.
Okay.
This is the Watchmen episode.
So I'll tell you what the fandoms were for all the other things, and then I want you
here's what this is like. Here's what
you
missed out
on. Yeah, this is
I picked door number 3.
Let's make a deal.
All right, Wayne Brady,
You
let's
just
do
got the
this.
song.
Let's do this. I got the song.
So one's called Adventures in Soulmates. It's a community themed, and it's Troy and Abed.
Okay, I'm glad I missed that.
Yeah,
one.
I didn't really want to do it, but it was a good example. And that one held both the color and the phrase.
Okay.
And it's interesting because it's Troy saying, "Do you want to join my study group, my Spanish study group?"
Oh.
And Abed,
I thought it would say Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah, and then it's about how they're straight, but then they grow to fuck each other.
Great.
So that's one.
Don't need to read that.
That is not the one. That's the that's the one we're going to do. This one is called Hurt, and it's a Mandalorian ex-reader.
Ooh,
And that's the emotion one.
I wish I had.
We can always when you find out what the other one is, we can always switch if you want.
Pivot.
I'll give you that.
No, I made my choice. I'm sorry, Wayne. I made my choice. No, door number 3.
The one where you turn 30 is a Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Oh God.
with Amy.
Okay.
Would you like to guess what
The watch
is? I'll give you a hint. We have covered it in a Drabble Fest. We've covered the fandom in a Drabble Fest. Actually, the specific ship we've covered in a Drabble Fest.
The Tovlo one. I don't know.
Tovlo.
Remember, didn't we do one where there was like 2 musicians and they were like,
Oh, that was Halsey.
Halsey.
And,
That's my guess.
What's her? Melanie Martinez.
Yeah, I don't know who Martin. No,
That's the same episode.
Yeah.
It was. So it's from the same episode. It was one of mine.
Pass.
Tweek and Craig.
Oh,
It's a Tweek and Craig.
Okay, so we're gonna go to South
Watch
Park.
fic.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the watch idea. Here we go.
Only time can tell. That's what it's called.
Beautiful name. Also, it's South Park, so I assume it's going to kind of be making fun of it because what South Park fan is like, oh, woo, like I love this idea of soulmates.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about the Tweek and Craig concept just for a little bit because I think it like reflects.
It's like it was meta. It's a meta that
It's
even we're
so
covering.
meta. We're covering it, and it is like it's one of those things where like you'll see the sign like "Don't touch the button," and then you touch the button anyways because it told you not to. That's sort of what the like Tweek and Craig fanfic or Tweek and Craig pairing has become because they were making a statement on how people online can pair couples up, and then they'll actually become paired.
Right.
So what do? They have all the Asian girls at school draw a yaoi of Tweek and Craig, and they actually commissioned yaoi artists to draw Tweek and Craig.
Amazing.
That's hilarious. And then, because all the yaoi girls are drawing them together, everyone just assumes they're a gay couple, even though they're not. Craig's dad gets really upset about it.
Yeah.
PC Principals gives them a lot of money for being gay. And then they end up becoming boyfriends because society's telling them to be in a relationship.
They have no other choice.
So already, that's a meta commentary on the fan fiction community doing these pairings.
And just the input that fans have on work.
And so now the most popular fanfic pairing for South Park is Tweek and Craig. Because everyone writes fanfic about them.
Yep.
Because they're lovers. They're soulmates. So I just love the idea of South Park doing that and it becoming a thing.
Yeah. Like in their universe, creating it that then affects our universe.
Exactly.
And the way they did it was they picked, if you don't watch South Park, Tweek and Craig are not important or main characters at all.
Yeah.
It's the same way that people can sniff out just any background character and
basically.
make them the biggest thing.
That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's not like it's 2 people we see. It's like 2 people who maybe have had 1 episode for them.
But the way that one looked at the other, there was chemistry there. They fuck. You know that Pro ZG on YouTube?
Yeah.
There's one where it's how anime shippers be, and it's one person oh, Tomoko, I like you, and then one's oh, they fucking, and then it's the other person's what are you talking about? And then the other one says something else, and he goes, oh, they fucking, that's what it is. But with
that guy's great.
Yeah, that guy is really good. Definitely watch him. He's 30-second videos.
Yeah,
really funny.
Yeah, I love his one about a really good play in a card game.
Yeah.
I tap my hand up. I'm no, it's so good.
Yeah, I have 3 moo counters. Yeah, that's right.
How am I going to get past the toll you pay? Well, I tap it 3 times. I can play the farmer, which allows me to tap 2 more.
So good. Yeah. He also has that, and he has this really weird backstory because almost all the jokes are board games or anime stuff he's interested in. Good for him. And one of them is he has this really long overarching narrative with one of the animes, and so he's selling merch about it now. So I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
So only time can tell.
Let's do it.
A Tweek and Craig. Chapter 1. So a spaz and a guinea pig walk into school, which are references to other episodes of South Park. Notes. Hey, so I read this US-UK fic. I don't know what that is. Fic?
United States, United
UK,
Kingdom?
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like this, and I immediately thought this has to be a South Park thing. So I used that as my inspiration to write this. I stole, man. Okay. It moved. It moved. At the moment, Tweek was freaking the fuck out. His watch wasn't supposed to move. He didn't have a true lover because no one would be able to love him that way. His clock really was never supposed to move. Besides, man loves way too much pressure. He clutched his hair and let out a shriek. Despite his obvious state of distress, no one looked twice at him because he was Tweek, and Tweek was someone who just screamed in the middle of the hallway. Nothing out of the ordinary. It has to be a mistake, he thought. He knew that wasn't true. Watches were the most accurate thing in the world. If you didn't follow what they told you, then you'd spend the rest of your life miserable.
Side, real quick. This should have been a Ben 10 fan fiction.
That would have been really good.
Watches.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah.
Just look at Butters' parents, for example. A mother and father whose watches never moved, and now they're stuck with each other.
Dang.
Watches were never these things that are attached to your soul. You can never really get rid of it. Everyone's watch is stuck at 12 when they're born, and it doesn't move until you fall in love. Well, it doesn't move until you've fallen for your true love. After that, the hands of your clock continue to count down until your clock has made a full rotation and is back at 12, and as the countdown continues, everyone who's not that special person slowly starts to disappear. 1 week, you only have 1 week before everyone but one person in your life is gone. The only way to fix it is to connect your watches. Then, you're with that person forever.
You gotta link it up like what, USB-C?
Oh God, I guess.
What if it's a really hard one to get? What if it's like that VG like computer one? I don't have one of those.
I don't have one of those either. I will say the subtext here of the watch being a metaphor for time. I mean, just look at that.
Your time's running out.
Your time's running out. So
I didn't know this 12. Is that also a thing? Like it starts. That was what I was going to say. Is like, what's the importance of being a watch?
It just starts on the top.
But like, if it runs out of time, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. I like how they explained it.
Yeah.
Does every watch fic? I'm calling them TikTok.
I don't know how many
I'm calling them Thick Fox.
I don't know how many Thick Fox there are, honestly. Yeah. This is the only one that I found because some people get really creative with them.
Cool.
So I think, the watch idea isn't bad. By the way, this was written by Mystic with 2 Y's Boy, B-O-I.
Nice.
Mystic Boy.
I like that name.
So we have a break here. It wasn't his own eyes that first saw the ticking hands of his clock. It was Clyde. The dumbass was going off on a tangent again about Mr. Garrison's class and didn't really seem to care. All that Craig was giving in response was a nod and a steely-eyed look when his eyes wandered towards his watch. There was a brief second in which he was silent, and then he began to screech for Token to come, and like the whipped little puppy he was, he came running. Do you want to make Token that character who's like a whipped little puppy? Is that a good idea? Whatever. It's
not a great look.
It's not a good look. To say that there was a big commotion would be an understatement. Craig Tucker has always had his fair share of admirers, and by admirers he means batshit crazy girls and some guys who thoroughly believe that he was somehow their soulmate. Don't get him wrong. The whole watch thing had been a pretty successful thing in the past, but he was pretty sure he didn't have one. He didn't have time to process it much, though, because Clyde was Clyde and wasn't quiet about anything. And it wasn't even 2 hours after he had discovered that everyone else in school knew about it, too. So here's my question. When you're born with it, do you get, like, a cool watch to fit your personality?
You get bands every year?
I don't know.
Is it part of your skin? Can you take it off when you shower?
I'd like to think,
so many questions.
I'd like to think that I have a pocket watch. Like, mine would be a pocket watch.
Yeah, all right. And then they give you a fedora when you're born, too.
No, just a monocle. Just a monocle. I just want to be a train conductor at this point. He chose to use the back of the school as his hiding place.
I just want to be Sir Topping Haddam.
Sir Topping Haddam. Seeing as how the only people who actually went back there were the Goths, and they could care less about what the rest of the school was doing. He gave a brief sigh of relief. He hoped he would find his soulmate soon so that he could stop all this madness. Craig was accustomed to a certain stable, boring, monotonous lifestyle, and being chased by groups of crazy teenagers didn't fit into that mold one bit. Craig? A voice asked. Craig froze for a second, thinking he had been found out immediately, relaxed as the voice processed in his head. Tweek, he said blankly to the boy as he turned to face him. He looked like he usually did. Clothes disheveled, his hair all over the place, and his eyes gave off the impression that he never slept, which was almost true. All in all, he looked like a mess, but Craig couldn't help but find it kind of endearing. The thought didn't shock him. He had come to the same conclusion about his best friend many times, and he learned to just roll with it. "What are you doing here?" Tweek asked. I sound like my Morty impression, but it's okay. "I could ask you the same thing," Craig thought, but instead of saying that, he just shrugged, leaned against the side of the building, and closed his eyes. Craig could hear a bit of awkward shuffling, and then there was a sudden warm presence on his right. Warm. Super warm. Almost unbearable. His eyes shot back open to look at the doe-eyed boy as sparks shot up his body and made him feel a bit queasy. Tweek gave him a weak smile that went along perfectly with his sleep-deprived face. There was a thermos held out to him in shaking hands. Craig looked at the thermos to Tweek with a questioning gaze. "It's cold out," he stated, and gave the thermos a shake, as if to draw Craig's attention to it again. Craig wasn't a coffee person by any means, and he didn't really drink the stuff, save for the few times he actually cared about a project enough to stay up late to finish it.
Dude, they're in 3rd grade.
Yep, but compared to the rare times he did, there was an even rarer chance of Tweek sharing his own. He took the thermos out of Tweek's hands and took a sip. All the while, Tweek looked at him with an eager expression. "It's good," he said, and handed Tweek back his coffee. "That's good," Tweek shouted. His hands seemed to shake more than they usually did. I'm glad that you like it. I'll bring an extra cup for you tomorrow, then." Craig was about to protest, then Tweek's eyes widened, and he let out another tick and started to stutter out an excuse. I have to go to, my locker needs, check for secret agents, and yeah," he said before scurrying back into the school. Craig stared at him, his previous words still on the tip of his tongue. He blinked and then looked at his watch. 1:30 was the current time, and it was stuck at. He looked back at the school door with wide eyes. During his scramble to get inside the building, Craig had gotten a good look at Tweek's pocket watch, and Craig had no doubt what he saw.
He does have a pocket watch.
Yeah, Tweek's watch wasn't on 12. No, it was clearly on 1:30. Holy shit.
Holy shit, indeed.
So, we've done a soulmate fic for South Park, and we could keep going. The Mandalorian one really wasn't that bad. I like the Mandalorian ex-reader idea, but you become a big family with Baby Yoda.
I was about to say you can have joint custody over
with Baby
little
Yoda.
BY.
Yeah, little BY.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many questions about it. Like, do you take it off? Does it run out? What's the deals? Obviously, a little baby can't wear it.
Yeah.
Maybe you
also,
get
how
it.
weird is it if it, like, this is my question. What if a little baby just, like, is wearing its watch, and it's, like, babysitter who's, like, 20, like, walks in and their watches start ticking?
It happens, man. Age is the number, bro.
Age is just a number, bro.
But it's unfortunate that you met them so early.
It's really gross.
Awkward.
Yeah, now you gotta wait.
It's very awkward.
It's really wait.
True love waits, though.
True love waits for God, right?
And no man.
Mm-hmm. So, if you're hearing this, kids who are brought in by the TikTok, wait until you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Abstinence is the 100% effective method for birth control.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good thing to be teaching kids?
That's been our message, right?
I think so.
We're staying on brand.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Comments,
criticisms, concerns?
I really like the concept.
It's short.
It's very short. I like the fact that it's like,
Yeah.
he just realized at the same time, oh no.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah.
But, maybe subconsciously starts feeling these feelings. I have another question. It's like,
Yeah.
in this instance, these are people who interact frequently.
Yeah.
They're classmates.
Yeah,
they're friends.
Why did your clock just start ticking?
Why did it just start ticking? But then I think, well, he just started noticing these things.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're like, little, I'm
not noticing that.
I never had a experience where I was with the same group of kids all through. I did different
Really?
elementary, different
yeah.
middle, different high school. So
Yeah, so really to go off on a tangent, I've been in the same place, I had been in the same place until I was 18, and then I went off to college. Ryan moved around a bunch. We found out afterwards that he actually lived a town over from me for, a year?
couple years, yeah.
Couple years, yeah.
3 or 4
Yeah,
years,
we used to go to all the same spots and stuff like that. So it was just cool to be like, oh, we actually used to live in the same place, but didn't meet each other until college. So.
No. So, yeah, it's like you have that person that you're friends with, or but then there's just the one day.
Look at 'em
or
at
even when
an
you're a
angle.
kid, you become more mature, you start having those feelings, or just there's something different about it. That's when the clock starts. I like that. I like the clock idea. It's bizarre. It's got so many holes in it.
Yeah.
So many holes.
Yeah, it feels like if someone wrote a book about this, half the book would be explaining the rules of the clock.
Well, that's what half this fic was.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, oh
That's
my
a good
god,
point.
this is a ton of exposition, which I like.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Yeah.
And then it just was kind of like a little snippet.
Yeah.
How many words was that?
Well, see, like I said, it keeps going, but it's like them developing the relationship.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
To me, it's
probably like 25,000 words.
No, the whole thing is 3,100. This first part is only about 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think we got
Strange
the flavor for it.
We got the flavor. That's what I'm saying. And you chose one that was specifically a little shorter. The Mandalorian one was kind of long.
But this is the
It's
one
5,000 words.
This is the one that interested me.
That was you wanted to hear the clock thing because
I wanted a fic fuck.
The gimmick for the Mandalorian one was the emotions. Like you can feel what the other person's feeling, and like
It's good. That's good because you never know what he's feeling under that helmet.
Exactly.
You never know what
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal's feeling under there.
yeah, and you're like the only person in the world that understands what they feel. I'll spoil it. It ends with him taking his helmet off for you.
Classic.
Yeah,
Classic.
yeah. So it's an interesting fic. But I like the concept of the soulmate thing. You know, like there's this thing in the universe that sets everybody on this path. But then think about this. Like think about how, and this, I mean, if you want to really trace the philosophical questions that this brings up, it goes back to, medieval Christianity, probably past that, because, the whole idea of like the predestination. If you know that your soulmate, whatever that means, has a thing on your arm, then you're just looking for that thing, and then you're like, oh, well, I just have to be with this person for no reason. The arbitrary reason is this thing.
Right.
And you're like, how many? So here's my question: in the soulmate universe, what's the divorce rate?
Yeah, well, that I really like that part they included about Butters' parents.
Yeah.
How they are
Montekia's
parents. Their clocks aren't ticking. What does that mean? Have they not had that moment yet? Is like a Tweek and Craig thing where like maybe one day they look at each other and it's like, boing, I mean, tick, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And also, like, these clocks, we don't know what the deal. It's not a societal-based thing. Is this an episode? This would be a great episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic if it was, like, based
especially
on
with the clocks.
If it was based on some sort of algorithm.
Yeah.
That's like Bluetooth where they
that's
sync up,
interesting.
right? And then maybe at the end you find out that this guy's, like, hacking them.
You just
and
wrote
it
a
doesn't
sci-fi
matter.
book.
I just wrote an episode of Black Mirror, but it's, very not fleshed out, so it seems more like that Choose Your Own Adventure Black Mirror, so it was bad.
Yeah. What was that? Jabberwocky. Right?
Whatever, yeah, I don't remember what it was called.
That's from Into the Looking Glass. Or In the Looking Glass.
Through
the Looking Glass.
Yes,
Yeah.
the little poem at the
Lewis
end.
Yeah.
And also the weird movie with Johnny Depp, where the Jabberwocky, for one reason, plays a huge role.
It's a dragon.
Yeah, I know, but like, they don't fight it in any of the books, but they just like needed to make video games and action figures.
Yeah.
Beside the point. Mm-hmm. To your point, like, is it like a Destiny thing? Yeah. Who's making the watches? Are they just like in a drawer at the hospital? Yeah. Are they imbued in some way? Do they get blessed?
When you pop out of your mom, does a watch come too?
Right there. Right after. We're waiting for the watch. Waiting for the watch. What if you don't have a watch? What if you break your watch? What if it smashes?
These are all really good questions that I don't have answers for.
But if you're like those two people, let's say it's a societal thing.
Yeah. We do live in a society.
We live in a society. You're with each other. Your watches aren't ticking. Are you just like the whole time like, well, my watch isn't ticking, so I'm not even going to try. It's not even worth it. You didn't say the phrase. I'm not even going to try. You could still find happiness. Yeah. Maybe it's not your soulmate, but you can still find that.
Yeah.
But your watches aren't ticking. You live in a society where you know that's not it.
So here's a question.
That's the perfect allegory for our society. We're always looking for more.
Yeah.
Like, here's a person who I have a great time with, but watch isn't ticking, so see you later. Yeah. Sayonara.
Sayonara. What happens if the tattoo one, you get in a fire? Part of your arm burns. No, I'm serious. Like, what happens if the
then they have
goes
to say
away?
They have to say whatever it is. Maybe you like meet someone and they're like drowning and they're like, and you're like, that's it.
No, like that's okay. What if you're born and the tattoo's in another language?
That'd be lit.
That's so crazy.
You'd be traveling the
world.
world.
So what do you do? And then how do you can't recognize it? You don't know the fucking language, so you spend half your life learning Mandarin. You didn't know Mandarin beforehand, but now you do. Yeah. Because you came out and it's fucking Chinese characters.
You go to your Mandarin teacher and you're like, can you tell me what this says? And they go, da, 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 and they say it.
And you're like, oh, god damn it. You're this fucking soulmate now. Like, there's so many questions brought up by the soulmate idea. Mm-hmm. But I think they're interesting to explore.
And it's like, in that world, would people recognize it as a societal thing or not? And it's almost like our society now, but we just don't have this, like, we have this other feeling that we're waiting for. We don't have a watch that tells us, but we're waiting for this feeling. Right, but it's the same idea where it's like, I'm looking for this, and I'm going to throw away everything that's not it.
Yeah. Or, if you were the Christian kids that went to my high school, and you dated all through high school, you got married right after so you could have sex. Mm-hmm. And that was your watch.
Your watch is ticking.
To have sex.
Then in that situation, yes, everyone is born with a watch, and that baby starts to tick. It starts wanting to tick, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's cool. And then the other thing that I'll say is that I think this is interesting because it's this web between all the fan fictions. You don't just sit down one day and you're like, I'm going to happen upon this idea about watches. You are inspired to write fan fiction by another fan fiction that you read. So now this is fan fiction spinning itself off and sparking other fan fictions.
Yeah, different ideas.
Trying to find the genesis. What is the campfire that started this inferno
of
what fandom? What fandom did it start in that it spread all the way up to Northern California?
What fandom menace can we blame on this? Yeah, but it's an interesting concept. I like it. I think it's a good idea. Yes. I think it's a fun thing to explore.
Yes.
And if you really want to read into it like we do, because we're a fan fiction podcast and we have that ability, what does it say about predetermined issues? What does that say about destiny? If you believe in those things, what does it say about that? Are those commentaries on that? Is that someone remarking on it? If you're born and you're in the world where all the tats, and your tattoo is the little drawing Ryan did of me doing the TikTok boy eye roll, do you fall in love with me when you see me on TikTok for the first time?
Yeah,
if that's the case,
what if it's an emoticon?
Yeah, if that's the case, are you just scrolling through TikTok looking for that one? What if the person? This is another thing. What if it's the fucking phrase thing? You're on TikTok or you're on Vine or whatever, and you hear the phrase and you're like,
it's digital.
Does that count?
Yeah. What is it digital?
Yeah, and then
there's got to be repeat phrases. What if it's a recording? And
what if there's someone really popular who hasn't found their soulmate yet? and they become, they're a celebrity, they're really popular, and then they're just like walking through crowds and people are screaming it at them because they've seen it.
They're trying to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Got to cover that stuff
up. If you're willing to be sold into sex slavery to a TikTok e-boy who eye rolls at you, you're more than willing to find out what their fucking thing is and then read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, I'm a savage.
Yeah, I'm a savage.
I'm a savage.
Ratchet bougie.
Lilati. I'm a savage.
Or
I guess that's my soulmate.
Or, Charlie, tell your dad I said thank you. Yeah. So, I feel gross saying that, by the way. just throwing that out there.
That means you're an old head. I was going to say you're normal, but no, it means you're old.
I'm an old head. You don't have sex with a little girl. You're old. Yep. So, I would like to be the oldest man in the world then. So that's fine. Interesting. So any criticism? I think it was well written. I think it was straightforward, simple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the rest of it's awful, but I liked it. It was if I was going to give anybody like a starting point for what this watch is, I would give them that one.
If this person originated the watch idea, hats off.
Fedora's
off. I liked it. If not, great job stealing. Yeah. You said you stole, so
that's a good starter.
That's a good thing to steal. Yeah. So interesting. I like it. We have the
well, they said they stole it. They said they straight up stole it. So
I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure they got it.
Maybe they're just saying they stole the concept of the soulmate thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We have that on our belt. I like it. We've been there. Ryan,
I can't believe you pick a pocket watch. It's so...
I don't know. Ryan, what are you stoked on?
Well, I went to the beach. I'm very sunburned, so I wish I could say I was stoked on like aloe vera, but I'll skip that.
Very good tip from a Floridian. If you get super sunburned, it doesn't magically cure it overnight, but Earl Grey tea actually really helps. There are antioxidants in it that your skin can absorb.
Interesting.
The real thing. I've done that before.
I've used Barbasol with menthol or whatever.
Really?
Whatever it is. Yeah. That'll take the color right off.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's weird.
But I'll try the tea because I'm in immense pain right now.
It really soothes it.
I'm not wearing a shirt right now. This is my skin.
Yeah. Oh, nice. It's a deep red color. I thought those nipple graphics on your shirt were weird.
Yeah, they're new. I'm stoked on... I've been watching it nonstop. I love West Wing.
Okay.
Have you ever seen West Wing?
No.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just classic. Aaron Sorkin is the writer. It's such like a play.
When was it?
This is like probably like
90s?
98. Started 97,
90s
98. Only 90s kids and kids who are obsessed with 90s on Netflix will remember. But it's just a great ensemble cast. And the way I love it, I'm sure everyone says, everyone talks about West Wing, wins all these awards, whatever. But it's so much like a play. It's written. It's got this incredible pace to it. Nice. You have to put everything down. You have to watch it, which I really appreciate.
What platform are you watching on?
I watch it on TV.
TV? Oh,
because it's like you have to.
What the fuck's TV?
Because and you got to put the stuff away.
No, but is it on Netflix? Is it on Hulu?
It's on Netflix.
Okay,
that's
what I was asking.
I watch on because you can't be like, let me do this while I'm doing.
I see people on the fucking subway, like watching shows, and then like walking through the fucking like subway stops, like.
And it's like you can watch The Office.
You don't care about the thing you're watching enough to just like passively watch it.
Yeah, or like people who are on their phone for 90% of whatever they're watching. I do that. I'm on my phone 90% of this podcast.
Computer. You actually are.
I don't even listen.
Yeah.
But this show really forces you to sit down, listen. It's got a great pace, rhythm, every scene. It's so tight. Like everything that's mentioned has a meaning and a purpose. It's just like amazing writing. Good. At least the first season and a half that I've watched. And it's a great show.
I'm not going to lie, you threw me through a loop with what you were stoked on. I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We'll save it, though.
We'll save it.
I'll let you say it.
Maybe that's what I'm stoked on.
You always have an issue remembering what you're stoked on, like finding something to be stoked on, so I don't want to take this.
When I was scooting down here, I know what I'm actually stoked on. I can't say. Let me throw another little side stoked on.
Reville?
It's Reville.
Oh, my God.
Reville is the scooter sharing app of New York City, and baby, it's awesome. It is sweet. You hop on your scooter, put your helmet on, you get on the app, you zip down to wherever you're going, you hop off, you look like a badass.
It is convenient. But the question is it more or less safe than the subway right now?
It's probably less safe than this.
You are putting a helmet on.
It's just a very dangerous thing in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm stoked on.
You're stoked on Reville. Got it. You're going to make fun of me, Ryan. You already have, because I told you I was going to be stoked on. Everyone's going to make fun of me. I've finished the main Dune Chronicles. That's the name for Dune.
What do you mean
1 through 8.
So there's more.
There's a main story.
Okay.
There are 8 books.
I feel like you've always
6
been
written by Frank Herbert.
So that's when you finished the Frank Herbert ones. I'm like, okay, he's done. And you're like, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
And now you're done with the main.
So Frank Herbert wrote the main 6.
Frank, main, and what? Expanded Universe?
The Dune-iverse.
The Dune-iverse.
The expanded Dune-iverse. Frank wrote the main 6, flawless. He passed away before he was able to finish them. There's a long-foretold 7th book in the series. And allegedly...
you said there were 8.
There's a long-foretold 7th book in the series that allegedly Frank Herbert had over 1,000 pages of notes worth in a safety deposit box. And when he died, his son, Brian, did not know about it. Then, Brian got a call from the bank. The bank said, hey, we have your dad's safety deposit box. He's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're like, well, come down and get it. He opened it up. Boom, there's a story in there. For years, literally decades, Brian had been fielding offers from different science fiction authors. Please let me finish this with you. Yeah. Please let me finish it.
Brandon Sanderson, I want to do it.
Yeah, please. Brian was saying no. Kevin Anderson, of all people, who is famous for writing the Thrawn trilogy in Star Wars, which is no longer canon, approached him and said, let's just read over your dad's notes. Read over them. Kevin's like, Brian, I think we need to do this, buddy. And Brian, it would be the first to admit he is not his father. And he's like, all right, let's fucking do this, Kevin. So they wrote the Houses trilogy, which is a prequel trilogy. It takes place before the first book. Then they wrote the Legends trilogy, which takes place approximately 15,000 years before the first book. And if you read it, it has to do with the Butlerian Jihad and the Machine Crusade. And then they wrote, they couldn't figure out how Frank was going to do it in one book. So then they wrote Dune 7 and Dune 8. Some people call it Dune 7 Part 1 and Part 2. Whatever you want to call it.
Just like Twilight Part 2.
Yeah. Dune 6, the last one that Frank wrote, ends on a cliffhanger. It's Chapter House Dune. It's the biggest cliffhanger in the entire fucking series, and then he had to die.
What's the time period between 6 and 7 Part 1? Like in real life? No, real life. Like writing real life and publishing.
I think he published Chapter House in 82 or 85.
Okay.
2009. Or no, 2006.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so it's like, and it was like Dune was considered the largest science fiction series that was never going to be completed.
Oh my goodness!
And so the thing is,
that's painful.
It's super painful. So you go into it, and you have all these people. Like if you look at their reviews, they're like, "Fuck these books, they're so bad. Like it is not anything." And I was on Twitter. I had people tell me like, "Don't even touch the Brian and Kevin books." Yeah. And for me, I'm like,
it's like the sequel trilogy in Star Wars. Everyone's like, just leave it.
Okay, my thing is, Star Wars ended.
Yeah, it's true. It did end.
Dune did not.
Yeah.
And so I like going into it, I'm like, I'm not going to get the version that Frank was going to tell. Right. I know that. I just want to know what the story was going to be. I want to know what his idea was.
Right, sure.
And there are questions of whether or not they actually followed what he wanted. And there are legitimate concerns, because when you read it, you're like, I don't really know if he was going to do that. What I'll tell you, I was not convinced that they did Frank's original ending until 100 pages, until I was done with the whole thing.
Interesting.
I read all of the 7th book and most of the 8th thinking, they fucked it. And then I got to the end and I was like, no, they didn't. I think this is what he was going to do this whole time.
Because, okay.
It all comes together. And I will say it's very clearly not written by Frank Herbert. It's a little more pulpy. It's a little more a little more Star Warsy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not him. Yeah.
It's not him. If you're expecting that, honestly, you're kind of brain dead. If you're expecting a Frank Herbert book to be written by his son and Kevin Anderson,
hey, it's his son. It's the same genes.
Yeah, why can't they write the same?
No.
I liked it. I liked the way it ended. It was a little too abrupt for me, but that is sort of a thing in the Dune world that the books end a little abruptly. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to read the other ones. They just announced, coming out October 13th, that there's going to be a new trilogy, and it's going to be focusing on Duke Leto before they go to Dune. So I already pre-ordered it. It's called the Duke of Caladan. Cool. I can't fucking wait.
That sounds that actually I probably would be interested.
Yeah,
that's a little dicey because he writes the Duke so well. The Duke is so cool. You got to handle that.
You really have to handle it. And there's I don't know if because I haven't read them, but the House trilogy, which is a prequel, which is why the Harkonnens,
and that's about like Vicodin addiction. And being a douchebag doctor.
Exactly. It's why the Harkonnens and the Atreides hate each other.
That's perfect.
That's that trilogy.
Here's the thing, though. Isn't that revealing too much? Isn't that like the beauty of Dune?
That's what I was going to say. You know when there's a joke and someone has to explain it to you, and you're like, yeah, I got it, but now the joke's not funny because you explained it?
Right.
When you're reading 7 and 8 and you haven't read what they had written before,
right,
you feel like, dude, you're explaining the joke. Like, you're explaining all the allure behind the Butlerian Jihad. I know nothing about it going into the 7th one. And that's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm making these things up, and then they're, like, over-explaining it.
Yeah.
However, the way it ends, you're like, I actually needed that context.
Okay.
And you all of these prequel books, you're like, dude, you're explaining the joke. But if you like to live in that world, if you like that content...
Yeah, I suppose.
You don't have to read those. You can live in the mystery, and that's fine.
You don't have to watch Solo.
No.
You don't have to watch it.
You don't need to know how he got his blaster, because it's really fucking dumb.
But your thing is that since it's books, like, it's more optional.
Yes.
It's, like, not part of the main... Well, I can say the same thing about Solo, and that's why you hate it. It's like, he's talking about his blaster. You didn't have to watch it.
You didn't have to watch it.
You didn't have to watch it.
So the thing is, if you like the Dune books, I'm telling you, you may or may not like the Kevin and Brian books. Just give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
If you like them, especially if you read the main 6, just read 7 and 8 to get the story.
But you're saying in 7 they do explain a little.
They explain a lot about the Butlerian Jihad, but they're referencing the trilogy that they wrote, the Legends trilogy. And so it's sort of like, originally you're like, are they just referencing this shit so they could shoehorn their own trilogy in?
Yeah.
And then I realized at the end, it almost seems like this was all stuff Frank was going to explain anyways.
Maybe they wrote those to like warm up because
Yes.
I don't want to touch the main series until I'm get the grease the wheels a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, that all makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think in book form it's a little easier, and that's why everyone liked the expanded universe of Star Wars,
Yeah.
where it's like you like the movies, awesome.
Read all these books.
So everybody
Yeah.
likes the movies. If you want to spend more time, here are books.
It was a kiss of friendship.
Sure.
Did you see that?
I don't know what that is.
In Star Wars 9, you know how
Oh yeah.
Kylo and Rey kiss?
Yeah.
In the book, it says it's a kiss of gratitude.
Right. Well, just like when
It's not a romantic
just,
kiss.
just like when Luke kissed Leia. There's a lot of
There's a lot of kisses in there that shouldn't be there.
there's just a lot of gratuitous
Yeah.
all that. Yeah. Yikes.
So I finished them. I'm very stoked. I like them. I just bought Hyperion by Dan Simmons. I'm excited to get started on that. It's another big sci-fi universe. Whatever.
Do it.
So that's what I'm stoked on. Dune
Nice.
7 and 8. I'm not. Look, there's 9 more Dune books. A 10th one's coming out.
9 more?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
9 total.
No. Are there 9 more or 11 more? There are 11 more Dune books written by Brian and Kevin. 1 more coming out, so there's going to be 12 by October. I'm going to read them, so I'm going to be stoked. I'm going to be
That's
stoked
thick.
on Dune for a while.
That's thick, bro.
Yeah, that's thick.
That's
so
thick.
hope you enjoy it. Don't care if you don't.
I'll be
Like I said,
I'll be reveling regardless.
We're boss girls.
I'll be
We're going to sell
reveling
on
the
schedule.
scoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Alex. My co-host is Ryan. I don't think we said that again. This is Suck My Fanfic. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, share with your friends. Smash like and subscribe.
I'm going to wait for the bombshell we reveal where we're just one person who can do two voices.
Yeah, really good at doing the 2 voices at the same time.
Yeah, we just like sync
Yeah.
it layer like Prince.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Like I said, hope you enjoyed. If you like us, share with friends. Please rate and review us because we haven't had a rating in a hot minute. But whatever. Honestly, if you don't like us, that's fine. We understand. We have a Discord now. It's on Twitter if you really care. If we'll ever use it,
We can plot the overthrow of the government on there
Yeah,
on Discord.
I like that idea.
Yeah, get in the
Sweet.
chat.
Also, fuck China.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a general one of those, real quick. I hope you had a good day. Ryan, what should we remember?
I just want to say, I don't know if anyone's listening. No one leaves reviews, so it doesn't matter. But you're listening. I care about you. We're like soulmates. I go through my day. I go work. Everything's black and white. But whenever I record, I see in full color. And I want to thank you for that. Have a nice day.